Hildy here. Come closer. I'm back in the park in my neighborhood, my temporary adopted neighborhood. I gotta do some thinking. All this chaos that's going on and the crazy stuff you see in the news, if you watch that stuff, it pays to see what they're saying. We know it's not true, but you know, it's still disturbing that they would say it, and there's so many people that regurgitate it to I guess declare their loyalty to the order or whatever it is. It's hard to concentrate on anything. It's hard to focus. It is for me anyway. I got a lot going on. I never really wanted to get into crypto and all that, but it's really the only way to move money from the two systems right now. I'm not even having problems with that, but I have some real good people that'll are helping me. I need to get a little more rubles in my pocket. I gotta get back where I can make money. And this is a dilemma too, because even now I've looked at the jobs. I could hit America, I could hit the US, jump in my truck, get online and have a job. I'd be heading for that job the same day. And there are a lot of them where I get a hotel room included, or at least a very fat per diem, and be working at least 50-60 hours a week for top wages plus a fat per diem. I mean, they're out there. It's a seller's market for labor. Really sweet when you get a hotel room plus per diem. I've done that before. My craft, my skills are in very much demand, and it's easy. I can make money there. Here, I've tried everything. I can't. And that's kind of a bad position to be in when you can't make money. You have no income and there's nothing you can do to get one. I'm sick of it. But here's the dilemma. I'll be getting back in the United States just in time for the economy to go over the cliff. We live in a strange world. My skills will still be in demand. Dollar's already down to like 50 rubles to a dollar. I wish I could have transferred this money back when it was 100 to a dollar, but I couldn't do anything. It's just sitting there waiting for me, and there's all these laws, all these bureaucrats, all these border people in Poland and Lithuania, nothing doing. And then I got delayed just even going to Uzbekistan because the electronic visa site was not working correctly. Same with Lithuania. I couldn't get in there because they had demanded that I get an online visa only available through their electronic site, and it wasn't working. It wasn't up. They do that on purpose. That's how they control things. That's a key right there. You know that all these tech businesses go through like a central clearinghouse for everything, and nobody knows who these people are, but your social media and all this stuff, you know, if you get flagged, it flags your bank account, it flags your credit card. You try to do something that they don't want you to do. Oh, I'm sorry, there was a problem. Try again later, and nothing works. I found that out with my experience with buying crypto and stuff. You go through all the hoops and all their security things and interviews and photographs and selfies with your credit card, all your information proving everything. give them everything they want, and they just arbitrarily say, well, I'm sorry, we declined the transaction. Can't say why. It's security reasons. Yeah, there's no process anymore. There's no due process. You don't have any rights because the corporations are running things. They can take money from you. Your bank can. Your bank takes money from you all the time without due process. That's a relatively new thing. That started kind of like back in the 80s. They started coming off all these fines and fees and stuff, and they'd automatically pull them out of your account. Yeah. And it just got worse from there. And now they manage your money as though it's theirs, and you're just a beggar. You're just renting it from them. And they decide whether or not you can have it. And they can take from you without going to court. Takings without any due process. Homeowners associations, anything that you're signed up to can take money away from you as a fee, as a fine, as a strafe, as they call it here, a tariff, a penalty, but you don't get to go to court. They just say, well, you violated our policy, and the policy is really vague. Your freedom of speech is dependent upon policies, which are very ill-defined. Well, that's hate speech. Why? Because you don't like it? Yeah, you've lost all your rights. When are you going to do something about it? The white hats are going to rescue you. All right. Well, I hope you're right, but I have my doubts. I think they would be better organizing people and getting things ready to mitigate damage and to actually do something, but they're not. They're having you solve riddles and look at websites. They're telling you to trust the plan and deception is necessary. Sorry, but not buying it. There's something to it, but yeah, there's different factions and everything. Even the Holy Q. I guarantee you there's people in there sabotaging it. There's insiders sabotaging everything. For the good side and for the bad side. Nothing's monolithic. Here in Russia, you got tons of them on the local level. All these little apparatniks and petty bureaucrats. They're stealing from everybody. They're sitting on people's heads. And some of them, you know, send agents to the U.S. Embassy and get money. Well, I don't even have a U.S. Embassy here, but there's agents and bagmen everywhere that distribute cash and promises. And there's plenty of people here in the oblasts and the districts and the cities that do their bidding, but they got to be real freaking careful here because the people are really against them, and the security services are against them. I don't think the security services in Russia has ever been compromised. So it's hard to know which way to jump. I'd love to stay here, but it's kind of hard to stay in a country where you can't make a freaking dime, no matter how skilled you are or what you can do. I tried everything. Always run into bureaucracy. Always run into, you know, this excruciatingly tedious categories that you got to fit in to be official and go through the official channels. I'm a master millwright. I do it all. I prototype, lathe, milling machine, precision grinder, TIG, MIG, sub-arc, everything. Here, what category of the job are you? Are you the professional mechanic of the hat making machine? And there's just like thousands and thousands of categories, and they're all just tiny little slots. Are you the mechanic of the machine that puts the covers on books? Are you freaking kidding me? I've built and moved and designed infrastructure for equipment that builds undersea umbilical cords and machines that make hydraulic cylinders for giant mining machines and carve gears out of giant chunks of metal and extrude pipe and tubing and refine sugar. I mean, machinery is machinery. It all has the same principles. But here, I think during the Soviet days, they would train you for one tiny little specific bee colony ant-like category. Now, officially, that's the way it is. Unofficially, it doesn't really work that way, but that's unofficial. They got some geniuses here. I mean, unofficial geniuses. The only thing I could be here is an entrepreneur. And I haven't been successful at that either. I never had the money and time. You spend all your time standing in line waiting for papers. Well, I talked to a different lawyer, and my friends are encouraging me to. I do have rights. I can't just be totally disenfranchised and kicked out like that because my wife is having some sort of problem. I can appeal. She wants divorce. The good book says if they want to go, let them go. I'll let her go. Divorce, okay. Got a show. So, Ladna. But the other stuff that's gonna make it so I can't come back here, gotta fight it. Gotta fight it and drag it out. But I can't stay here and do it because I don't have any money. See the problem? I'm trying to set things up where I can have a lawyer fight for me, and I can send him money from the US through a system I'm putting together. Whether it's going to work, I don't know. I can't spend a lot of time doing this. Sometime early this week, I probably need to go back to Sevastopol and give my lawyer, I need to find a different lawyer. I don't particularly like this one. He's good though, he's good. He's just a liberal. And he's really, really pricey. Probably can't get a good one for less though. I could set it up where I could put money in his account and he can go fight for me. I have some people that are willing to help me with my account here so that I can pay all the things I have to pay. And if I lose the alimony case, it won't be that much if I fight it. I don't think they'll give me that. My lawyer here says doesn't think they'll possibly give me, order me to pay that much even if I don't fight it because it's ridiculous. She's asking for a ridiculous amount. Very few people here make that much money total that she wants. And she's just, well, I don't care if you can't pay it. The government will give me, what's it called, a welfare? This is a welfare state. Same kind of problems as America. You want to get rid of your husband because you don't like him, you're itchy and want to do somebody else, you know? Or you just start looking at him with contempt because he's not like the guys on television and the movies. Yeah, you can get rid of him and the state will pay you just like the US. The process is a lot different and men do have some rights here, but it's a very slow process. You're both supposed to be involved, but because of my language problem and the fact that I'm a foreigner, in theory, someone with a residence visa has most of the same rights as a citizen, but in practice, no. No, you're second class, baby. Well, we're not going to listen to you. You don't get to say so in court. So, should I go back? I already said goodbye to the kids and said, you know, I may never be able to see you again. That's a hard thing to say to your kids, but it's true. Prepare them for it. Now I'm going to show back up again, or I'm going to go there and not see them. I'm not the one inflicting the trauma. What do I do? Go back and get make sure my tax thing is square, my tax number, fix the little problem I got with that, give my lawyer power of attorney, go to immigration and try to, you know, I guess I can apply for citizenship, but I don't think I can pass the test, but at least that'll stall things. Because once the divorce goes into action, then supposedly my residence ends. And if she gets me taken off the house, the residence in the house, my right to live there, she's suing to get that taken out too. Guess she thinks she's going to get somebody else. I don't know who'd want to be with her. But she wants me out. It's vicious. It's malicious. If she takes me off that, then I don't have a residence, and therefore my residency is invalid. I can fight that and drag it out and go make money as fast as possible. Then what? It's a hell of a vicious cycle. I won't say an end to it. I'm 60 years old and I'm freaking tired. What do I do? Abandon ship and go? I might not be able to come back here. It's not just my kids. My kids are very important, but I also love this place. I want to be here. Even though I can't make money here unless I bring a bunch with me and start a business, and I can do that, but never been able to pull that off. Gave all my money to my wife. See what that got me. What should Uncle Billy do? Pull the plug and flee? Hope things will change? I'll find some way to get back in? Having my lawyer cite things, it's really pretty cheap. I mean, by US standards, what I'll have to send him to try to stop getting disenfranchised at my house that I paid for, and try to stop getting soaked for alimony after I supported her for 15 years and I didn't want the divorce. Yeah, that might be worthwhile, but more expense. Got to go back to Sevastopol. Kids are young, they're resilient. They'll be glad to see me again. But it all might be for naught too, because I get back to the United States and wow, the dollar becomes worthless. What do I do then? It was for nothing. But that's speculation. Could happen though. It's educated speculation. Anyway, you got to take educated guess. It's like, what if this, what if that? What if wishes were horses? If you do this, that will happen, unless it doesn't. That's life, isn't it? So how do we make our decisions? Oh, you have to hear from God. I try. Very seldom though I have a clear voice telling me what to do. I know what to do in most cases, but this stuff, I don't know what's going to happen. My decisions get made for me, and it's usually not good. What to do? Seems foolish to just flee and drop that opportunity for keeping my foot in a door that might close anyway. Very expensive hedge for a bet. It's a long shot. Maybe. Maybe not. There is something to this Q stuff in that a lot of stuff has happened, but then there's a lot of trash going around too about clones, and Hillary's already been executed and other people are in Gitmo, and there's no evidence for that. But certain things, major things happening, certain things being revealed. They do say July is going to be a real big month for everybody's going to know everything. Well, we'll see. And if everybody knows everything, then what? Hell, half these people are going to be in denial, and all the idiots are going to be making up stories and adding to everything and spinning it and making it ridiculous. Civil War. And then there's the Nazi factor. Most people are ignoring that. They don't want to face it, or they don't believe it. I'll put some links to some stuff down here. There's very few people talking about that. I've been talking about it. I'll put a couple of links down here that are great. Great. One of them's really short. George Eliason, he's talking about it. He knows. He's been living in Donbass a long time. He studies this stuff. He knows it. Where did the Nazis come from? Where's this Nazi phenomenon come from? Well, the U.S. has done it over the last 80 years. They preserved it from World War II so they could use it against Russia. And now it's accumulated into like the third and fourth generation. And they've paid for the education of these people along these lines. You think it's all in Eastern Europe? You think it's all in the Baltics and in Ukraine? The financial and ideological networks are in Canada and the US. What do you think is going to happen when the economy goes over the edge? They're very well connected, and they have people in place, and they're also connected with Antifa, BLM, all these organizations work together. The ones that say they're anti-fascist and the ones that are proud fascists, they're on the same freaking team. They're working for Soros, working for Klaus Schwab and the Clinton, Obama crime families. Why does nothing seem to happen against them? Why does there seem to be no resistance at all? And half the population's going around with a mask and waving their little blue and yellow murder flags and I support Israel and Ukraine forever. Holy crap, I'm going back to that. Tempted to just go off and live in the woods out here. I'd rather live in the woods here than I would in the US. Time's coming when they're going to be shooting people for that if they get their way. If I have to go to the US and things go down, what do I do then? Find a community. I'm a pretty useful person. I'm an expert on alternative building, on-site materials, processing on-site materials, machinery to make them, homesteading, setting up water systems, gardens, power systems. I mean, not stuff you buy over the counter either. I'm talking about some serious homemade stuff. If you got a community, you got some unregulated land, which I think only exists in unincorporated areas in Texas now. I heard New Hampshire had some sort of law like that too. I think it was New Hampshire. But if you got a place where people leave you the hell alone and let you do what you want, very rare. And you got a junkyard handy and a bunch of old cars and stuff to use for stuff, maybe some old pipe, and you need somebody with some skills, bring Uncle Billy on board. I need to make some money real quick and buy into something. If I'm going to be in the US long term, I'm going to need a place. Can't be a nomad under these conditions. All I got's a truck, load of tools and work clothes, and a bunch of knowledge and experience and skills. And I get along with anybody, almost anybody. I don't care what kind of community you got. I can roll with it. I prefer a Christian one, an Orthodox one if possible. But yeah, I'm going to start advertising for that and looking for a place to fall back on. And find some little dead town with reasonable people in charge of the government. I could do something for myself, but it'd have to be pretty hidden. It's really hard to be self-sufficient on your own. You need a community to do it, ironically. I'm working this out. I'm thinking out loud. I'm going to have to do a lot more thinking. I need to make some phone calls, maybe have to go back to Sevastopol, set things up, and then get out of here. Oh, and that's getting pricey too. The airline tickets are skyrocketing the longer I wait, the higher they get. I do have a limited amount of money, and it is borrowed. And I got to take it one step at a time, because anything could happen. This pot with Lithuania is brewing. They might shut down the airways again. Then what do I do? I can still go to Uzbekistan for like less than 200 bucks. It's a great place, real cheap place to cool your heels. I could only stay there for a month though. Getting out, yeah, it's about the same, because from Uzbekistan to Chicago goes through Istanbul. Moscow to Tashkent is like 170 bucks. Moscow to Istanbul it's from $700 to $1,000. But you go from Tashkent to Istanbul, it's about 400. So it ends up being the same. Tashkent's a better place to chill for a while if I have to do that. But the prices aren't going down. Just if there's a lockdown or something because of what happens with Lithuania. Could be serious, maybe not. Depends on whether NATO backs down. They don't want to. They want to make all that money. They want that war. They don't care what happens to you or anybody else. That's your 5-star generals and your colonels that retire and go into think tanks and get all that money from the defense industry. They'll let you die. They'll kill you off. They don't care about America. They care about their portfolio. What short-sighted crabs. And then they have them on Fox News commenting. I noticed those guys haven't been on lately. Kellogg, I think is his name. What an ass. We have to start killing Russians. Yeah, maybe we I'll be quiet. I'll get kicked off YouTube. I'm surprised I haven't yet. Those people will get theirs. If not in this life, then in the next. Can't be passive though. Nobody's doing anything that I can see. Oh, I hope they're doing stuff behind the scenes. Need to sway your military and sway your police. These goons that are enforcing corporate dictates. It's illegal, but they get away with it because of the hierarchy, the command structure, and they tell them to. They do it for money. Well, I gotta pay my mortgage. Yeah, so you go out and beat people for disobeying corporate policies. Yeah, we know what needs to happen there, don't we? You've got to make it cost them something. But nobody's doing that. They can go after you, but you can't go after them. They can threaten you. Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates can do TED Talks and get on YouTube and Facebook and openly talk about doing away with most of the world's population. That's okay, but you threaten them, oh, we're going to have to kick you off. You violated our hate speech policy. You're talking about harming people. We all know what the score is. Everybody can see it. People choose their side, though. You choose their side, you're the definition of a fascist. The state over all, the one world government over all, at all costs, at all expense. And you pledge loyalty to them. And maybe they'll let you be last to be exterminated. What a pathetic deal, but people are making it. Willing to expend all that energy to enslave yourself. Demonic. You gotta take risks and fight. Take risks and fight for the right freaking side, for crying out loud, will you? Well, they can't. It's what they are. They've taken their mark on their mind and on their actions. Lies. They don't care about the truth. They hate the logos. They hate truth. They hate order and logic. They attack it. It's what they are. The children of the devil. There's only two races, children of God and children of the devil. Well, it's not by birth, it's by choice, by adoption. And there's amnesty for the children of the devil. They can change sides, they can be forgiven, but they don't. That's just a testimony against them. Very few of them do. Got all these issues to balance against one another, just like my situation. You got to balance all these things against each other and stack them up and try to decide which way to jump. The money's getting worth less. The flights are going up. They might close down. Got to go take care of legal problems to keep a little door open while everything goes up and the money goes down and it's more expense. Is it worth doing? take a blind leap of faith and just get the hell out of here and throw myself back into America. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I got some videos to make in Russian, I think. I'll make an little advertisement and try to spread it around. Somebody knows somebody that could use my skills and services, and I could get paid for it. Officially. Or as an entrepreneur. Or somebody wants to make some money and go into business, manufacture stuff. I can hook them up. I can make it happen. I can do all the work. As an entrepreneur, make money, stay here, get another residence. But it just doesn't happen. I don't hear from anybody. Nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to do anything. Can't find anybody that has any freaking ambition or wants to take any sort of risk at all. The people with money here are either, for the most part on the lower level, they're either liberals or they're stagnant. They're so ultra conservative that they don't move. They're just like a big toad that just sits there and petrifies. They don't want to take any risks. They don't want to do anything. I'm not the only one that said that either. You'll find the same opinion shared by other American bloggers here. Oh, this is kind of a thing right now. It's bitch fest. Tim Kirby and John Mark Dugan, those guys have been accused of being Russian bots, but they said, I do talk bad about Russia. John just did one recently. I do talk bad about Russia. Let me tell you, and he starts laying out some of the problems here. And I do too, and so does Kirby. It's the bureaucracy is just stupid. And the fifth column liberals have a lot of power here, but fortunately they're kept in check by the population and the security services. They're afraid to do anything. They would love to go open the gates and let the West come in and loot everything, because they'd get a few dollars to put in their pocket and get a few attaboys. Yeah, they'd do it. They hate their own culture. They hate orthodoxy. They're the devil's children. They hate logic and order. They want transgenderism and all this other stuff. They think it's cool. But they have to pose as Russian patriots right now. It's probably hurts. But what about Uncle Billy? He doesn't seem to have a place at the table here. Got to look for another table maybe, I don't know. Haven't had very much luck with stuff like that. I guess I haven't tried hard enough. Need to furiously advertise in Russian sites. In Russian, which is very hard for me, but I can do it. And at the same time, advertise and look in homesteading sites and bear trail and things like that, and see if there's a community that could use an old Wapo like me. I'm sure there is, but whether they know it or not, or well, time will tell. It'll be interesting. This will be an interesting week. This will be a decisive week. As prices shoot up, the value of my currency shoots down. I'm struggling with getting enough here just to go to Moscow and hang out for a few days. And well, now maybe go to Sevastopol and then go to Moscow. That's very inexpensive though. That's not the big expense, but it does count. And the attorney thing, he's okay with getting paid later though. I gotta give him that. He's pretty good on that. I'll have to talk to him. I'll send him an email, ask him some questions. He goes back to Moscow in winter. So what then? What if we delay this thing till winter, and then is he going to go all the way to Sevastopol and go to court for me? That's going to cost some money. Or does he have an associate there that'll handle it, or somebody you can recommend? I gotta get that info. And in that case, I'd have to have somebody else with power of attorney. But that's not hard to do or very expensive. And then my bank account, I have to have somebody here with power of attorney to pay things for me that has access to money from outside that I can get in through various and sundry means. Yeah, it's complicated. It's doable though. I've been getting around this crap all my life. Yeah, it gets tiresome. It's frustrating. Puts you in some weird situations, but what's the alternative? Comply with everything? There's people that comply and they do fine, but I'm not you. And you comply with everything, well, that's between you and God. Maybe you'll be all right, maybe you won't. Not mine to judge. But you're dragging this thing out and exacerbating it. If you're complying with everything and going along with it. Yeah, lose yourself in the metaverse and all the fake reality. That's better, right? Lab formulated bovine embryonic material tissue grown in cultures and big vats and shaped like steaks. You gonna eat that? And some stuff made out of bugs, made to be like meat. Why would you eat something that's not real, that's made out of something that it's not? What could go wrong with DNA altered food? This is it. Over the past 50, 60 years, they've built an extremely complicated, fragile system, and they've done it on purpose. It's corruption. It's all corruption. 1,000 nasty little mold spores, each working in their own area to make one continuous monolithic blanket of green ilk on your bread. They're creating a ridiculously complicated, fragile system because they can make money off of it. And back in the 70s, in some of the outlaw culture, we joke about, shipping Florida oranges to California and California oranges to Florida to sell. Yeah, they did that. That's the way the whole thing works. Because somebody got in there to arrange it because they make money off the shipping and the fees and the tax. Everybody's in on it. Government and corporation together, united, right? That was I know that didn't look like fingers crossed, but that's what it was. I accidentally flipped off my audience. I'm sorry. You understand. Anyway, the system's so fragile. What if you had a car that efficiently burns diesel? Your engine's made out of cast iron. It's as simple as possible. It's got a real frame. It's got a simple body. It's very rugged. It's very durable. It's very repairable. Doesn't have a computer chip on it anywhere. It's all analog. Big, heavy copper switches. It lasts for generations. And you can drive it and burn a few gallons of diesel and get where you want to go, or gasoline, doesn't matter. Or you could take that diesel and gasoline and burn millions of gallons to strip mine Afghanistan and get heavy minerals after fighting a war to get control of it. And then you could make lithium batteries, and then you could spend millions of dollars and billions of dollars making carbon fiber windmills that are 90 foot tall and putting them all over the place and subsidizing them with tax money to make electricity, to charge lithium batteries. It's only lasts a couple of years and then they're hazardous waste and they're not renewable, so that you can drive a couple of miles. Which system's better? Which one's more efficient? Which one's fragile? Well, the one that you're getting shoved down your throat, it's for a reason, because they make money at every single little stop on that. They don't make money when you buy a couple of gallons of diesel and put in your rugged car that lasts for generations that you can fix yourself. That's why it's illegal. That's why all your little regulating bodies in your local government and your state government and your federal government say, oh, no, you cannot do that. You're a polluter. you're violating ordinances and regulations and company policy. And then the cops come and enforce it. That's the system. You can break the system if you organize and you just start doing things. You can't just start doing them. They'll take it away from you and they'll put you in jail. But you organize and control your local environment and put together coalitions that'll fight for you. And you got to be able to defend yourself too. You got to make it cost them something to come and take your stuff without due process. If you don't, it's all lost. You're a coward and you lost. You deserve to be a slave. Sorry, that's the reality of it. I hope that inspires somebody. Maybe I'm going to have to go back to the United States and organize. I don't see anybody else doing it. They're all sitting around waiting for a cue to do something for you in the white hats. Really? Well, we'll see. Maybe you're right. I hope you are. I'll eat crow if they are. I'll say, I'm sorry, you were right. I doubt it, though. Or you're sitting around in a spiritual sense, waiting for the rapture. But you're not doing anything. What kind of crown are you going to get? You're sitting in a barca lounger watching softball on Netflix, right? All my energy is taken up with all this chaos that I'm in. Well, yeah, you did it yourself, Bildy. I'm still making a dent, though, aren't I? Well, I'm going to wind this up. Kind of a ramble. Hope there's some good in it. Hope it did somebody some good and you found some inspiration or some enlightenment or at least a chuckle. I'll keep you informed of what's going on. And I'll post those links. They're real interesting. They're must-sees about how the Nazis developed. And how they're not just in Ukraine. And they're not just one or two organizations like Azov. They're all hooked together with people that you know and have heard of. They're all linked together and they work together. They're the devil's children. Better fight them. Better be ready. And of course you fight them spiritual warfare first. You don't have to remind me of that. I know all about that. But you can pray, be thou filled, be thou clothed, and then don't do anything. It's more than just prayer. You don't sneak into your closet and take off your mask and pray and then put it back on and then go out and comply with everything. Come on. Uncle Bildy signing out. Well, I feel better now. Good talk.